Okay, so along those lines, as far as your goals and everything, and you guys had some really great goals out there, let's go ahead and we're going to dedicate this week to review for TCAP week. So I just have a few things in here that are, big TCAP type questions that are kind of important, and people tend to always miss those. And some of them, one of them is something that we've already studied, so should be pretty good. Um, oh, that's a bummer, Michaela. Bad connection. Okay, so a couple things for you guys to think about too before we get started. Obviously, next week is TCAP. You want to take advantage of that week because that's sort of a free week. I'm not going to have any new weeks opened up for that week. So right now we're in week 8. So you've got 8 weeks worth of material and that won't change next week. So a couple of you guys, I know, like Demetrius, Israel, you guys worked pretty hard last week. I was very proud of you guys. Way to go. So what you want to do is continue making that same effort throughout the rest of this week and next week. And there's a good going to get caught up enough to actually pass this class, which would be awesome because you guys are doing really great so far. So don't let that effort go to waste. Continue on with that effort. You're right on track. And then you guys, again, remember that Schoology is where you can look to see how you scored as far as proficient or not proficient or unsatisfactory. And then you definitely just want to use that as kind of a guide to get into those assignments and redo them to help you. But ultimately, again, your actual class grade is in Infinite Campus. So make sure you can log in and that you've logged in so you can see your progress. That's also a really good snapshot of your grades as a whole. So it's easy to see your grades. And when you guys go into Infinite Campus, I know that a lot of people will go in and they will just click on grades. But if you go into Infinite Campus and you click on, you can go into your Core 1 math class and you can see each assignment exactly and then which ones are missing because they'll be blank. So that's a really good way, a quick indicator for you guys. Okay, so let us get started. All right, you guys, so this is, like I said, your review. I just wanted to dedicate this webinar to that for next week. And I know some of you guys are not doing TCAP next week, but you may be doing ACT, or Dustin, like you may be taking the AccuPlacer, or another test to get into a college or something outside of high school, or even to get a certification. So it's good to be able to figure out how to answer questions. So on our first one, Daniel, not to be confused with Danny. Hi, Danny. I saw that you were here. Owns a swimming pool cleaning service. So you guys, I'm going to have you put the answers for these in your notepads. And he charges a flat fee of $75 per month, which includes 2 cleanings per month. And additional cleanings are available for $25 each. So what you want to do is take that information and figure out which one of those equations, A, B, C, or D, represents the cost per month to a customer whose pool is cleaned X times per month. So notice the wording represents the cost per month C. So they're defining C as the cost, and they're defining X as the number of times per month the pool is cleaned. All right, you guys, go for it. So Kiona, good. You already made a good guess. And so the rest of you, Michaela, good. You made a good guess. So we just need Demetrius. You don't have your name in a notepad yet, so put your name in one. And then who else? Dustin, you still need to make a guess. Michaela, you've already in there. Israel. All right, you guys, so we're waiting on D. Good, you got your name in there. And Israel, you're good. And just Dustin. Dustin, which do you guess? You are the last one to guess. Dustin, are you there? Dustin, if you're in there, go ahead and type something in the chat for me so that I know you are there and not distracted with something else. Okay, good. All right, so Dustin, just make a guess, A, B, C, or D. Which one do you want? And you guys don't change your answer if somebody else puts in a certain guess because one person may have made a guess and it could be wrong. So then, and everybody's choosing the same one, it could be wrong. So Dustin is A. So let me tell you guys this. So he charges a flat fee of $75. So I can see, if I look at A, does it show that? I'm going to tell you guys that A is not correct. So go ahead and try to guess again and think about what the question is asking. So or what it's saying, I should say. He charges a flat fee of $75 a month. Which one, first of all, shows that, a flat fee of $75 per month? You guys chose A, which has the 75 paired with the X, right? So that means you'd have $75 and X represented the times per month. So that's 75 times however many times per month. But remember, it's a flat fee. So good, we've already got some changes, excellent. And I'm happy you guys are choosing your own because that's really good. And then think about the second part of this equation. Additional cleanings are available for $25 each. So what does that mean? Well, the $75 per month includes 2 cleanings per month. Okay, so that's got to be factored in there. So I'll wait until you guys all have a guess. And remember, don't follow the bandwagon. If one person chooses one, don't necessarily choose that, because I think that's what happened with A, and then all of a sudden everybody saw an A and then chose A. So choose for yourself, just because you just never know what you're going to get. So Dustin, okay, good. So B. Okay, so we got a couple C's, we got a B, we've got a D. So awesome. So somebody's going to be right on this, right? So that's good. I'm glad you guys are choosing different things. All right, so we know it's not A, so we can scratch A off. And kind of one of the strategies to helping you do better with this is to scratch things off that don't make sense. So this 75 times X doesn't make sense because we already said it's a flat fee. So we can, oops, there goes Danny again, hang on. So we can cut off or eliminate A. That doesn't make any sense at all, okay? Now if we look at another one that might not make sense, well, if 75 is a flat fee, it can't be paired with any X's. And if you look at D, right, the X would be distributed to both, meaning that we would end up with 25X plus 75X plus 2. And that might then trigger you to say, well, that wouldn't make sense either because now we have 75 paired with the number of times per month. So, I know you guys are changing your answers. That's okay. Oh, that's all right, Danny. Since 11, your computer's been acting up. That's okay. At least you made it in now. Very good, very good. We're just doing TCAP review is what we're doing. So D is gone. All right, good. So now we've got, so Israel, you changed to B, and Dustin's B, and then we've also got Kiona at C. Okay, so look at this one now, Kiona. So you've got 75 times 2. So always think in your mind, like, what would that mean? 75 times 2, well, that means it's going to be $150 then. So I know why you said the 2, because of the 2 cleanings per month. But let me ask you, Kiona, and you can just say, you know, yes or no. Is this person going to pay $75 per each of those cleanings, or are they going to just be charged $75 for 2 cleanings? No, okay. So then it's $75 straight for 2 cleanings. Okay, perfect. So you have a good understanding of that. And so then if you think about that, this one, oh, here comes Danny, keeps going in and out. So if you think about C, the problem is what they're saying here is he's charged $75 for 1 cleaning because 75 times 2 is 150. So that wouldn't actually make sense here either. So we can just, only through a process of elimination, figure out that, hey, you guys, the correct answer is B. And I didn't even know it. I just eliminated things that didn't make sense. That's one of the strategies you guys can do. But now let's actually look at B and kind of analyze it and see why it makes sense. So we have the $75. That's the flat fee, includes 2 cleanings. So no matter what, you have to pay the $75. And then we get charged $25 for everything after the 2. And X right here represents the number of times per month. So let's take X and plug in 2, right? If we plug in 2, we get 0 here, and 0 times 25 is 0. So we would only pay the 75, which is what we would want to do. If we did 3 cleanings, Well, if we plug a 3 in here, 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 times 25 is 25. So we have an additional fee of 25 plus the 75 for the first two. So it actually makes sense. Okay. Oh, Michaela, sorry. I don't know why. Maybe it's just your connection must be bad. All right, you guys, so any questions on this one? Understanding it? A question about that equation? Okay. All right, good. All right, how about let's do this then real quick and just give you guys some practice. Raise the hand guy if you are ready to move on to the next one. Raise the, very good. Kiana has raised her hand. Danny, good. Dee, excellent. Michaela might not be able to hear me. Dustin, how about you? So it's just Dustin and Michaela. Oh, and then Israel, good. Are you ready to move on, Dustin, to the next one? Or did you need me to go back and talk about that one? Okay, so you're good. Okay. All right, you guys, so we've got two more to go through. So this one you guys should hopefully get because we've been doing stats, but this is a big one that is always on every test. And stats is really important in life. It doesn't really matter what profession you go into, you're always analyzing stats, you know, even if you're in sales and retail, like I know, Dustin, you are, but a lot of times somebody's going to go in there and analyze which days do you have more sales because then we can have more people in the store because we need more people since we have more sales on this day, or which day can we actually shut down and not have anybody in the store because we don't really have any more sales, kind of a thing. So stats are important, especially in science and business and psychology too. Dustin, you want to do psychology? And nursing. I mean, there's just so many places you use stats. So, all right, you guys. So again, try to figure out which one of these. Edgar earned the following scores on his first 10 science tests. And then which one of these measures of central tendency, so we have the mean, median, mode, will be affected if Edgar earns a score of 50 on his next test. So I'm not really requiring you guys to make any calculations here. In fact, I don't want you to make a calculation, but basically this is what's happening, right? On the next test, he scores 50. So what this question is asking you is, think about his first 10 tests, right? That's all this area. These are the first 10. Oh, Israel, did you raise your hand? Did you have a question? Okay, so Dustin, you already answered, so excellent. Oh, Israel, no, you didn't. Okay, good. So it looks like maybe you guys might have a handle on it already because you're already getting some answers. All right, so those of you guys that answered, so Dustin, Dee, Kiana, you guys have already answered. Can you explain in your notepad why it would impact the mean and the median? Explain your logic. And then the rest of you, go ahead and make a guess. Or Israel, sorry, was that your new guess? Okay, so good. Kiana's already describing. Perfect. So make sure you make your guess, A, B, C, or D. How would this additional 50, so we have an additional 50, impact these scores, or would it? So your goal is to pick which one of these would be affected if he gets that additional 50. So go ahead and make a guess, and then, oh, that was your old one. Okay, D, sorry. Sorry. But make a guess, and then write why you think that. So justify your reasoning, which is good. And a lot of these tests ask you guys to justify your reasoning, so it's good practice to explain to me why. So good. Kiana and Danny are in the process, and Michaela, excellent. So Dee, I need an answer from you. Good. And then go ahead and justify. Israel started. Way to go, you guys. Dustin. So Dustin, you had a guess, but go ahead and maybe use your notepad to justify your reasoning. Why did you guess that? put y. And then we have one last one to go over. Okay, good, you guys. Awesome job. You're all justifying your reasoning. I like that. Nice job. Very nice job. Israel, don't erase that. That was good. Never erase. Always go with what you think. Good. And a couple of you guys are like right in the middle of all this stuff, so it should be fresh for you. Wow, Kiana, nice. You've got a lot going on there. Very good. I like those explanations. Michaela, good. You guys are doing a great job. Danny, hot pink. Nice color. Maybe that's why I wrote 50 in pink, because you were inspiring me with your hot pink there. All right, so while you guys are finishing up, I'm going to read Kiana's because she's got a long one going on, and I was starting to read it, and it looks pretty good. So she chose B, mean and median. And she chose B because A didn't make sense with the mode. So awesome job, you're doing a process of elimination. So I would agree with you on that, and no one picked A, so perfect. So through that process of elimination, that strategy, we know it can't be A because mode isn't going to change. So perfect. I like that strategy. And then you said B would change the mean because it would be adding 50 with the equation. So I think a lot of you guys were saying, and we'll go through them, we're saying that it would definitely change the mean. So I like that you saw that and you knew that. Okay, and then also remembered what you said about how adding more or less in a bar graph would change the shape of the graph. Yep, it would. So I thought adding 50 would change the median to be, and let me just come over here so I can scroll down. Sorry, you guys. Oh, it would be smaller. Exactly. Actually, hang on. It would change the median because we are adding a 50 to all the information. And so it could make it smaller, it could make it larger, but you're exactly right. So let's look at Michaela. You also said B, and you said B because by adding 50 you won't be affecting the mode at all. Excellent, again, especially because that would be, okay, and by adding 50 it would mess up the average. Good. And the median. So both of you guys are right, but let's make sure. Now if we look back at the choices, we have mean, median, mean only, median only. So I think that we've already kind of eliminated the other two. Let's check what everybody said. So Israel said, in Israel, you are right because when you add the 50, it will throw off the mean quite a bit. 50 is an outlier. I like how you said that. 50 is definitely an outlier. So Israel, the only thing to consider is then would it also impact the median? Because you are exactly right about the mean. And then Danny B, because throws off the average, which is going to affect the mean, and where the center is. Exactly. We're adding another number, so the median is going to change. That's the right reasoning for the median, because now our center, when we only have 10 pieces of data, our center is between our two fives, but then when we have 11 pieces of data, that's going to move our center. And then D said D, very funny, because 50 would change the amount of numbers. And so, so good. So it would change the amount of numbers, and that's why the median would change, but not because of the outlier. So you actually have both concepts in yours. The outlier impacts the mean or the average. So then let's look at Dustin, because 50 changes the mean and the mean will change the number, and then, okay, so perfect. So you guys have a really good handle on it. And then D and Israel, I like that you guys had your own choices and your own reasonings, but your reasonings are correct. Both your reasonings are correct. And so if you put them together, the correct answer is actually B. It does affect the mean because it's an outlier, and it's going to affect the median because it's an extra number. So if you think about where, and I should probably write the 50 over here. Let's do that actually. So if I wrote the 50 over here, and then we erased it over here, put them in order, although I guess it's not really in order anyway, so it doesn't really matter, never mind. But our original median is going to be, if we put these in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'd be in between, if it was in order, in between those. But now when we have an extra number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so it just changes because we have more numbers, not because of the value. So median is impacted because we have more numbers, not because of the value. And mean is impacted, okay, Michaela, and mean is impacted because of the outlier. So really good job, you guys. All right, raise your hand if you're ready to move on. Oh, all together. Very good. Dustin, how about you? Are you ready to move on? Dustin, are you there? Okay, good. All right, you don't have to erase if you don't want to. It won't be. Maybe you should actually. Okay, last one, you guys. So part of collecting data is being able to analyze data or be able to read graphs. And you'll see graphs in the news, and you'll see graphs, even in your jobs when you're looking at trends and stuff like that. So here we have a graph that shows the depth of snow at Blue Mountain Ski Resort last winter. Okay, so notice when you guys are taking these tests, they are going to give you points on the fact that you have a title. So you have to have a title. And our title is Depth of Snow at Blue Mountain Ski Resort. That's what this graph is showing. They're also going to give you points if you have a description on your x-axis, which we do, number of days since December 1. So what does that mean? That means that this at 0 right here is December 1, right? And this is 20 days since then. This is 40 days, 60 days, 80 days, 100 days since December 1. And then they're also going to give you points if you have a title for your y-axis. And the y-axis says depth of snow in inches. So this is 20 inches, 40 inches, 60 inches. So what these axes labels give us is the units. In this bottom x-axis, we have days. And in the vertical axes, we have inches. So they're very important. But what I want you guys to do next, and what they'll ask you a lot of times, is they want you to interpret the graph. So for part A, so you guys do these in your notepads. For A, so you can just put A, explain what the y-intercept of the graph represents. Now, where students mess up with this is they explain in general, like what a y-intercept is. But we don't care about that. We're just looking at this graph only, and here's our y-intercept. What does this point represent related to what this graph is talking about? So that's part A. Tell me what that means, what that 1 point means. And then for part B, explain what the x-intercept of the graph represents. What does that 1 point represent? So go for it, you guys. And this will be our final question today. Hi, Central. How are you guys? I hope you're feeling educated. Hope that you think that you could go in there and take TCAP now. This is Miss D. Oh, you know what? I have a remedial math class just for you. So if you want to stay afterwards, we can work on that together. And then that way you can score very, very high on your TCAP next week, which is what I know you need to do. Oh, I forgot. So now I know I don't want to distract you guys because look, there's a couple of you guys already hard at work, but you're supposed to clap, 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 clap every time you say the word TCAP. Like, I have it down. I've been practicing. So you guys can go home and say that in the mirror. Oh, Cece has now entered. And then you can clap every time, but I'm going to clap for you guys when you score outstandingly well. How about that? I'll give you an extra double clap. All right, D and Israel, Michaela stepped away. And Cece, I see that you are there too. So we are doing TCAP review. You are just in time for our last question. So go ahead and put your name in student 5 or 2, whichever one you want. And thank you, Cece. Very good. And then if you want to answer part A and part B, that would be, oh, good, Michaela, I'm glad you're back. So we're on our last one, Michaela. You didn't miss anything, just our analysis after the second one. But if you want to answer part A and part B, guys, explain what the y-intercept of the graph represents and explain what the x-intercept of the graph represents. That would be superb. All right, you guys are off and going. Israel, I'm missing your explanation, and Dustin. Okay, perfect. All right, so student 2, which I think is not one of our normal students. Yes, we're going to have a private conversation, student 2. You are not on the right track. Just, I hate to tell ya. Maybe look around at some of the other responses. You can cheat. You can cheat. All right, good. Michaela? Oh, Danny, you want me to hold on? Can I cheat too? No, Danny, no. I only let some people cheat who really need a little bit of math help, but you guys don't need. Yeah, that's true. Dustin, I know. You're eating. Dustin, hang on. Don't eat yet. We're almost done. And see, you're getting busted over there for your lack of response. I'm glad you're eating, but give it 3 minutes. Because then after this, I just give you guys your ticket out, and then you can be free. You can be free to eat your own food. All right, Demetrius, don't erase. Type on. Just really look at it, you guys. Again, use your own words, because everybody's going to describe it differently. And the way you're graded on this, you don't have to have the exact words that somebody else has. You just have to be able to express what the y-intercept and what the x-intercept represents in your own words. So look at what this graph is telling you. And if I picked that point right up here where the circled area is, where the y-intercept is, what would that be telling you? What does that point mean? Same thing with right down here, It's not any different than if I picked a point somewhere on the graph, If I picked a point right here, for example, where my little pointer is, that would tell you something about the depth of snow at Blue Mountain Ski Ranch, which is why the title is important, right? And remember that every point has an x and a y coordinate. And so you want to put those together when you're describing it. So good. Looks like Kiana is already off and got the y-intercept and the x-intercept in her answer. Michaela. Okay, good. And you don't need to put question marks, Michaela. It's okay. I know you're just thinking, and you could be right. Kiana. Spirit 2 is your spirit animal. TBH, I don't know what TBH is. That must be a secret code. Oh, to be honest. Ah, yes, to be honest. All you guys know. See, I don't have the text speak going on. I probably need a little class on that. You guys can give me that. All right, so Israel, you've got Y. Very good. Cece, very nice. You've already put your answer in. Danny, very good. So just Dustin, you are the last one. You must answer. And D. All right, D, you got Y also. So D and Israel, you guys need your x-intercepts. And Dustin needs to finish. So that's good, Dustin. I'm assuming you put your lunch down for a minute. It is lunchtime, that's true. All right. Almost there. Come on, Israel, you've got the x-intercept represents. Uh-oh. Okay, you guys, we had a little connectivity issue apparently. Sorry, but we should be good. Let me share the screen with you guys again. Don't know why that happened. Probably because Dustin, you're taking too long. And so it, it died. It couldn't wait that long. All right, you guys. Well, then maybe we should get on with this. Okay. So if we look at what you guys put, let's go with Dustin. The y-intercept represents the starting of the snowfall from the hmm, 1st of December. Okay, I like it. Oh, Kiona, did you have a question? Oh, no? Okay. I wasn't sure. You raised your hand. And then D, a y-intercept represents the amount of snow that land on Blue Mountain Ski Resort. Okay, it is the amount of snow, so you're partially there. And Danny, it's representing 80 inches of snow. Okay, good. You have the amount, and there's a little bit more you need, but you're on track. CC is showing the amount of snow in inches, which is around 79. So again, you're kind of in the same boat as Danny. You're missing just one little piece more. Israel, the y-intercept represents the start. Okay, good. So you and Dustin are very similar. Michaela, okay, so you've got the 80 inches. So you guys have got amounts. And then Kiona, the y-intercept of the graph represents the depth of snow in inches. And it tells me that the depth of snow was 90 inches on day 40. Okay, so Kiona, you're almost there. I just don't know where the 40 comes from. So type for me how you got 40. How did you get 40? Because I see, or and 90 actually. Or are you answering a different question? The number of days on X. Oh, are you doing the x-intercept maybe? Oh. Okay, so when I look at the depth of snow is 90 inches on day 40. Okay, so Kiona, let's actually go to that. So the depth of snow, so here's 90, right? Let me actually use a different color. So here's 90 right here. And if I go across on day 40, so you just described right there where I circled, which is not the x-intercept or the y-intercept, but you described a point. And if you were describing that point, that would be correct. But you see how we want to describe this point over here, the y-intercept, and this point here, which is the x-intercept? Okay, good. All right, so let me address what you guys are missing. So you're awesome to say that this was about 80 or 79 inches, but remember what we said, the graph is actually two coordinates, right? You have the x coordinate and you have the y coordinate. So what you guys are describing is just the y portion of it. So what you want to do is add in, I think Dustin, Israel, you guys added that in. And what you want to describe then is the x portion. So it represents 79 or 80 inches approximately. But when? Well, that's the starting point, right? Or that's the amount of snow in inches we had on December 1st. So to get full credit for this, you guys, you have to talk about the depth and the days. So you have to have both of those in your answer to get full credit. So you have to say the depth on what day. What also can work is what Dustin and Israel did is say that it represents the start of the snowfall from the 1st of December and how deep it was. Probably an even better answer would just be to say that it represents the start of the snowfall on December 1st and the starting depth was 79 inches. So you've got both of the concepts in your answer, but put in a number. So good, you guys, good. Michaela's like, I'm going to change it. Okay, you guys, last but not least, let's look at the x-intercept. Dustin, you don't have your x-intercept in. All right, D, x-intercept represents the amount of days that it snowed. Okay, that is what the x-axis represents, but the x-intercept is this specific point that I circled. So think about that a little bit more. Danny, number of days, the point on the x-intercept graph represents 100 numbers of days since December 1st. Okay, so you have the days. Again, you're kind of describing what the x-axis is. And CC is how many days it snowed. And again, that's what the x-axis represents. So Israel, the x-intercept represents the highest number of snow depth days. So we'll think about that one. And then let me go up to Kiana because Michaela's typing. The x-intercept tells me on day 40 that the snow is, I'm going to have to, oh, you never changed it? Oh, that's okay. Well, let me just see. What did you say real quick? Oh, I see. Yeah, you still have the old one. Okay, that's fine. All right, you guys. So you're kind of struggling a little bit more with the X one. 100 number of days since December 1st. Well, it does make sense, Michaela. You just want to remember, describe depth in days. All right, you guys. So let me ask you this one question. What is the snow depth on this 100th day or 105th day or whatever it is? Because we know that this is approximately the 100th day for the x-intercept. So what was the snow depth? Is, okay, so good, Danny. 0. Good. So a couple of you guys, not 500 million. So it is 0 though. So Michaela, Danny, excellent. It is 0. And so that's all you guys need is just to describe both, right? So you had 0 inches on the 100th day. So as long as you have the description of the x and the description of the y in your answer, you're good to go. So the best way to answer part B would be to say that on the 100th day, the snow depth was 0 inches. All right, you guys, that was a lot of work. Raise your hand. Yeah, I know, but student 2 is a very special student. So, you know. All right, Danny, Israel, good. You guys raised your hand. Who else is ready to go on to the ticket out? Ticket out, ticket out. Kiana, how about you? Michaela? Okay, good. Raised your hand. Excellent. Is there anyone left? Cece, Dustin, how do you guys feel? Are you ready to go to your ticket out? Michaela, nice. Reese's peanut butter and chocolate ice cream. You are? Danny, I'm not sure that's the healthiest thing to have for breakfast, just to let you know. But if you guys are here for TCAP, all of you that are freshmen and sophomores, we should be having ice cream on actually the Monday before. We're having a little party. So, nailed it. Yeah, so definitely you guys be here Monday. Danny, yes, mandatory, come in. EW, like excellent, way to go, Miss Elliott. That's what that must mean, EW. Yes. Anyway, you guys, if you come Monday, which you need to come, we're having our pre-TCAP kickoff. I forgot to tell you guys that. And then make sure that you show up on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the actual test, in which case you guys better do really well. Okay, so our final ticket out, you guys, and this is actually posted on the discussion, so you don't have to copy this down in your notes. But this is what we just did. So this is kind of helping me to measure how much you learned from our webinar today. It's very much the same type of question. Describe what the x and y intercept represent contextually, which means related to this problem. And I am not a very good teacher right here because notice I do not have a title. And I told you guys you need to have a title. So other than the fact that I don't have a title, answer what the x and y intercept in this graph represents contextually. All right, any questions before we sign off? And remember, go to Schoology, you guys. Go to the discussion to answer this. All right, Kiona, no. Nope. Good. Bye, Danny. All right, Cece, thanks for attending. I'm glad you guys were all here. You did a phenomenal job today. I will say you tried hard. You worked very hard. All right. Bye, Cece. Keep working on your math. Remember, free week next week. Nice house. All right. Thanks, you guys. Have a good day. We'll see you all soon.